Hello everyone and welcome back to the Ecospacegy Talkshow. In this talk show, we showcase Guyanese youths making waves in the environmental realm throughout Guyana. Today I have with me Miss Malika Russell. She is a part of a wonderful challenge I've been affiliated with about 3 months now. It's called the Titernus Challenge. So I'll allow her to introduce herself and give a brief description about the challenge that she's a part of.
Thank you so much, Stephane. So my name is Malika Russell, and I am the Senior Vice President of the University of Guyana Student Society. The Titernus Challenge, it's a global advocacy movement that aims to raise awareness about plastic pollution and enable young people a platform that they can become able to fight plastic pollution.
And for this particular episode, I really want to focus on the young people and the fight against plastic pollution. So we will go into this challenge. I really want to delve into the particulars of the challenge and for us to really explain, for her to explain actually, the main players of this challenge, who are involved, for us to see the collaboration. Because when I attended the first, the symposium you had, and I saw the list of the sponsors and the persons apart, I was really elated to see that there is real partnership occurring within the environmental realm. So let's just speak a bit more about the challenge and the partners.
All right, I'm so happy that you asked. The Plastic Titernus Challenge is a global movement. So it forms part of the Island Caribbean project, but there's some key partners through the Basel Convention for Training, the Center for Training and Technology Transfer in the Caribbean. We were able to secure a grant to implement this project. But back forwarding a little bit, there are some other agencies that are directly involved. For example, this project is supported by the Global Environmental Facility, that is led by the FAO, the IBD, and the Environmental Program, through the United Nations. So they work very closely with the BCRC Caribbean, and the BCRC is our closest connection with implementing this project. And this is the first time it's being implemented in Guyana. So through the UGSS, we were able to secure that. But having all of those partners online, having all those partners on board, it gives us the opportunity and really enable us to access funding to implement key activities that are aimed at raising awareness about plastic pollution.
And you see, what really makes me happy about this particular partnership is the amount of, as we like to say, big name sponsors involved that really show the authenticity of the challenge. It's not just something that was created from a group of persons who did not know what they were doing. It was a challenge, as we go into the questions, that was actually created before and now brought to Guyana. So we already have, we don't have to reinvent the wheel in this. It's already created. And the baseline is here. And when it comes to partnerships, even when it comes to Ecospacegy, I got my grant from UNICEF in partnership with the Right to the Child's Commission to have Ecospacegy. And funding is always something we have an issue with when you have projects. When you have these things you want to execute. Even for me, my funding on my grant is over, as it does take a lot to have shows and production that goes into it. And so I reached out to one of my past lecturers, Mr. Sion Hamer, and he decided to sponsor this episode. So I'm so happy when it comes to sponsorship and persons who are willing to fund ideas and projects with young people. And Titernus is a real example of when young people decide to put the best foot forward, apply for these grants, and have these partners come on board. And as you have gotten the grants and you have started the program, what are some activities you have done to build traction? Because you have the UGSS wanting to have this challenge throughout Guyana, not just centralized within the university. And so I know you have done some activities, and what do you have planned to continue to build traction and get Guyanese youths involved?
Okay, so the project is aimed to be implemented within 6 months. Foundation for persons to become aware of the challenge. So far, we've done a lot of activities, some empowerment sessions, robust debates about what should be done in Guyana to really address plastic pollution. And at the university, we've been lobbying for alternatives to plastics as well. So one of the things we've done very creatively recently was to have the engineering facility, the students that are part of the engineering society, to help us to design and create bins that are made of alternatives, are more sustainable materials to be placed on campus. So while we encourage persons to be part of the challenge, there are lots of activities that are aimed specifically at different target groups. Like, for example, even the art club was part of it, where they were able to design the bins nicely and place on campus. So we also had a very intense cleanup activity on World Cleanup Day in September. Yes, so we've had support from the university, from the British High Commissioner that is so immensely involved in the project, as plastic pollution is a very serious problem. And other students from the university, students from various secondary schools, they're all so anxious to be a part of the challenge. So we have an essay competition that is coming up soon. We also have an art competition where we provide the canvas, provide brushes and paint. So it's a art and pitch challenge where you paint a lovely photo of how you envision how we can address plastic pollution. And then, because art is so it's so perspective based on your perception, so you get that chance to tell the story behind your art. And that activity is incentivized, where you can win some amazing prizes. So you can win computers, trips around Georgetown, get to experience Guyana. And we have a recycling challenge, importantly, where the bins that we place on campus, that will be used to collect single-use plastics. One, because we want to have an idea of what plastics are used. It will enable us to look at areas and where we can cut down on single-use plastics at the University of Guyana, as well as to have persons think of creative ways on how we can use the plastics that are in our home to make something reusable or sustainable. So also what we aim to do is to develop a model for how you can reduce single-use plastics in schools. And we are hopeful that that strategy can be replicated in schools, because they're highly populated by a lot of young people. And I think it would be an excellent way to teach them about the effects of single-use plastics and how they can reduce it little by little. And importantly, I think that those small actions can lead to like a very great impact, what we're hoping to achieve with the challenge.
Yeah, I see. I hope you got caught with of all these wonderful things that Titurners has in store for the young people, for the youths of Guyana, are oftentimes overlooked group of people. And at the end, I will let her give all of the contact that she can share for you to go and see and be a part of these competitions. Because one thing I want to note is how holistic their approach to this challenge is. Because when it comes to Titurners, where they have things for persons who consider themselves intellectuals, who want to be a part of debates, who want to be persons who consider themselves engineers, they want to make things, persons who are artistic, persons who want to express themselves in a different way through art, through sometimes even anything can be considered art, even the things that engineers make can be considered art. But one thing I want you to see is that you have different activities that cater to a plethora of youths who are interested in anything under the sun. There's a Titurners activity for you. And even if we are going to look at the past events you have had, it has been so well executed and with such a small team. I really want to give them their flowers and what they've been doing. And as we continue along this interview, you will also want to give them their flowers, because they've been doing a lot, as she has already stated. So tell us, we have the activities, we have the challenge, but there's an app.
Yes.
So tell us about the app. Give us a step-by-step guide about this app.
All right. So the Tide Turners app, it's found on your smartphones, either on Play Store or
iOS.
Yes. And for iPhone users as well, they can also download it on, I think it's the App Store.
Yeah,
if I'm correct.
Yeah,
an App Store.
She's dedicated Samsung user. She don't know how the jargon.
Yes, so you can find it there. It's very, very simple. The first person to complete this challenge in Guyana was a 14-year-old, Reginald Brown. Mm-hmm. He's a student at Saints, and he's been very actively involved. So the challenge is very simple. For the youngest child or the oldest adult, there are 3 levels in the app that you can complete at your own pace. So we provide support in case anybody needs assistance with maneuvering the app. But in the first level, you learn about facts about plastic pollution. So what the makers have done, they have put together or pooled facts about plastic pollution from all around the world. And in the first challenge, while you learn about it, you get to interview an older person to find out whether the changes that we're seeing now, if it was different way back when. So it helps you to get an understanding of how plastic pollution is growing as the year goes by. And in that first level too, you commit to reducing 1 single-use plastic that you use every day. So whether it's a plastic bag or whether you're going to get a reusable bottle, so you don't have to buy water in a plastic bottle every time you go out. So those little steps can be found in the app. So it really teaches you about plastic pollution in the first level. The second level, you become a leader. So you get your friends or your family to do the same. And in the third level, you become a champion, where you know all the facts or most of the facts. You've been inspiring others to know about it as well. And now in the champion level, it's where you go towards a larger environment, like your communities, where you can arrange like beach cleanups or get your classmates to learn more about the facts. So there are different creative ways that you're not limited to in how you'd like to spread awareness about plastic pollution. So,
and I think this truly shows how this app was made for young people, because many persons would say that a lot of older persons are now hearing about the environmental movement or plastic pollution or sustainability, climate change from young people. Like, it's debatable, but I would say young people have become the face of the environmental movement. The activists from throughout the world, the persons in Guyana that I have met, have all been very passionate young people, and that is what Ecospacegy hopes to showcase: passionate young people like Miss Russell and her team, who are really championing the cause, and plastic pollution being a big issue in Guyana, especially in Georgetown, and for young people to be able to actually ask themselves, what can I do? And this app gives them an answer to that. What can I do? And this is what you can do. And for a lot of young people who want to be leaders, who want to be a part of a better cause, of a greater thing, and actually add to the betterment of their of Guyana, and to tackle this particular issue, it is really ideal to be a part of the Tide Turners Challenge. It's simple. We all have apps on our phones. Just like you download Facebook or TikTok, you download the Tide Turners Challenge, and you become part of something greater. And it's not just an isolated app. There are so many activities going on while using the app, and you will be noted, as she already mentioned, the young man from my alma mater, St. Stanislaus College. And as we continue to talk about the Tide Turners Challenge, as we speak about plastic pollution, as you have these activities coupled with the app and the challenges, and the challenge, how do you think this can all help to actively combat plastic pollution in Guyana?
I think so far the app has been very, very useful and instrumental for me personally, because I've never really paid attention to plastic pollution. I was never conscious of how dangerous it is until I started reading about the facts and learning with other young people. So we're able to exchange ideas and what is actually happening. I didn't know that you can actually eat plastics or consume microplastics.
Yes.
I did not know about the research being done around the world to show that microplastics can become accumulated in your bodies and affect you. I'm a pesticides and toxic chemicals inspector, so I know throwing plastics in waterways, it can be very dangerous to the aquatic life in the water, but that would be pesticide bottles. So apart from that, I was able to learn so much about plastic pollution and share that with other young people. And I feel like those are very positive steps that young people can take, that the app allows for, the challenge provides for, where you learn so much and it inspires you to take action individually and grab your friends to get them involved as well. So I think that with knowledge comes with great knowledge comes responsibility. So I feel like that line captures really the essence of what the app has been doing. So when you learn about it, you're now empowered to make more conscious decision to be part of a great initiative aimed at protecting the environment, because impacts from plastics can be detrimental to your health, to the food that we rely on, as well as with preserving our aesthetics, because plastics is very ugly to look at.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what I would like to point out is the key word here is awareness. It helps to bring awareness to the issue, because we oftentimes assume people know about the dangers of plastic. Even as I work at EPA, the burning of plastic alone releases chemicals that can be very toxic to persons. As a student at the University of Guyana, my interest in plastics really informed my final year undergraduate study, where I analyzed the impact of microplastic and macroplastics and the distribution of it through a mangrove site.
Yeah.
And it really showed me that plastics have made its way so deep into the environment that is embedded in the soil. And when you analyze the soil, there's plastic within the soil, little plastics. And what is in the soil? Things like crabs, and when the water comes in, little fishes are there also. And they eat it, and that accumulates. And the toxins accumulate, and you end up taking in plastic. A lecturer from University of Guyana, Mr. Malika, he did a study and found plastics in a lot of the commercial fishes we eat, the catfishes, the bangers, and so on. They had plastic within it. So the app like the Titan and the Young Plastic Titan Challenge really is needed immensely in Guyana.
Yeah.
It is very important to have such a challenge. As we know, the activities, the app, the overall challenge, I would like to know, what do you hope to accomplish at the completion of this? When you sit and you look back in the next 5 years, what would you like to be the impact of this challenge? What would you like to see what would you like to see change in society when it comes to plastic pollution and so on? And you can link it back to the Tide Turners Challenge.
Okay, so some of the objectives of the challenge, especially in Guyana, what we want to do is to enable young people to be part of this change, to fight plastic pollution. We'd hope to lobby policymakers as well to be part of this change that we want to see in our country. That when persons come to Guyana, it will be free of plastics on our beaches, on our seawalls, or when we drive around Georgetown, wouldn't see so much plastics. And especially with single-use plastics, we'd like to see more sustainable materials being used where possible. Through the university, we're hoping to implement a model of how you can manage plastics in a school setting, and with hopes that this can be replicated in other schools around the country. So in essence, we want to do is to really ensure that young people have the ability, a platform, that they can continuously lobby for the small changes that could lead to greater impact.
Yes, it's all about the cumulative effects of our changes as a people.
Yeah.
And this challenge helps you to not just focus on what the government can do, what larger bodies can do. It's what you as a person, and not just you maybe you as a group, as you have to involve other persons in the challenge, and they will join, and then they will allow other persons to join, encourage persons to join. So you then have a compound effect of multiple persons helping to fight against plastic pollution. So this is not just a one-off challenge, it's something that intends to make long-term change. So as we come to a close, I'd like you to do one more thing for me. Just introduce the Tide Turners Challenge to them once more, give them the details in which they can find out information, and to give them some encouraging parting words to our audience, who I'm very sure wants to be a part of the young leaders and be a young leader in the plastic challenge when it comes to the Tide Turners Challenge. So.
Okay, thank you. So you can find more information about the Plastic Tide Turners Challenge on the University of Guyana Student Society current Facebook page, as well as our Instagram page. Also, the challenge is one that is global, where young people like you can become agents of change to fight plastic pollution. It's very easy to sign up. You download the Tide Turners app. You join our WhatsApp group where there are other young people who are desirous of being impactful and agents of change, where we only post information about activities that are going to be aimed at spreading awareness. So once you download the Tide Turners app, you join our group and you participate in the activities that we have available. Importantly to note that these activities are incentivized, and once you complete the challenge, you can become a mentor where you help young people to complete the challenge as well. For persons that are mentoring others, you can win a trip to a Caribbean destination, and all expenses are fully covered for a weekend. So there are computers, there are technological devices to be won, and most importantly, you get to be part of a global movement to ensure that we play a role to preserve our environment by protecting it and be more conscious of our actions and how they can affect our environment. So I hope that you guys would sign up for our Tide Turners to become part or join a platform of passionate young people that all share a similar goal, aim, or objective. And I think it would definitely be fun. And for more information, you can contact the University of Guyana Student Society, or you can send me a message on WhatsApp on 670-6786. I'll add you to the WhatsApp group and assist you in every way possible so that you can play your role to fight plastic pollution. Thank you.
And with that, I'd like to thank Ms. Russell for being here. I hope you heard about all the lovely incentives. We are not in the business of making young people work for free. Anything you do will be rewarded, as we want to encourage the next young leaders in the plastic pollution fight. So thank you for watching this episode of Ecospacegy. See you again.